on today's episode, we're talking to Kevin Lane, the one and only, about his upcoming documentary, and all the things. And we will be sharing our wrestler name. And it's a question. Stay tuned. Mr. Kevin Lane, the one and only, multi-talented, what do we say? The multiverse. Welcome to Kevin Lane, the multiverse. What will he do? But first, we have to ask a very important question. What is a very important question? A very important question, Kevin, is if you were a wrestler, I feel like you'd probably be a wrestler at one time in your past life. Okay. I don't know. I just acted as a wrestler. Well, okay, if you were a real wrestler, what would your wrestling name be? What you think of it? I know what's yours. The other day I was thinking last night, so I woke up and wrestling was on, so this is how it came to me. For my wrestling name is Danny the Hammer. And I actually just throw nails at people. Yeah, that's the thing that I do. And then all the people in the audience who love me, they don't know if it's a nails or moving around. What are you doing? Throw nails at people. Also, they're like, what are nails? But you're the one. I'm going to nail them. Okay, got it. We're a tag team. We are a tag team. And I am about the White Chocolate Thunder. Always. Well, Rebellion is the formal name of it. I'm just White Chocolate Thunder, but I can't be Chocolate Thunder. So, now that you've got these great names.
I'm trying to think about it. Because it has to be cool and,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Can I do a little bit?
Yeah, let's come back. I want to think about it.
Okay. Just to think while we ask the questions.
Yeah.
You get it.
Yeah. Because I'm creative, so I really, I can't start it off. It's got to be cool.
Exactly. Too much.
Yeah.
Too much. I feel like you could really be a wrestler.
I thought about doing that at one time, you go to Atlanta and you fly out for I forget what QT it was. I thought about doing that. So many of my friends, they would get hurt. That'd be done.
It's probably better when you were a little bigger. You've lost quite a bit of weight.
Yeah.
Maybe smaller. You're not very tall. We had to put him on, he's sitting on the phone book, so okay.
Mountain Man.
Yeah. Mountain Man.
The beard and overalls.
These are like sidekick. Yeah. And it comes with different arms, I suppose.
It's good. Flood. Like a little bit out of water.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's cool. Like sitting on your cabin porch and not exploding in your jug.
Yeah. Mountain Man.
White Chocolate Thunder, and that's the surprise best. It's Mountain Man.
Yeah, that's it.
People are going to try to get us to wrestlers now. We don't have a job. This is a wrestling podcast now. Okay. Yeah, awesome. Now, let's move the whole side of the way. Let's talk about documentary. Let's talk about really who's Kevin Lane. Who's Kevin Lane? He comes from. Where did you come from? What's your very origin story?
I was 1992. I was trying to be a model. Didn't work out because I was too big. To be a model, you got to be into like a 42 regular cup.
This is unrealistic standards.
And even at 21, it was a 52 extra long.
I prefer a plus size model than that.
And I could, and so the lady that's telling me to be a model, she said, you're good, but you're not going to make it because you're just too big. Because a model started to get the color of close finger. Like, you got you got like step into the clothes and, So I think coach was coming through. It's just a unit of acting classes. So I was okay, so I took acting classes. That was horrible. And she said, hey, they're shooting a movie down on my bill. Let me send the pictures in. And I said, okay. I said, I'm not ready to phone class. I was horrible. And so one afternoon, I didn't have a job. I was working Oprah. And I remember I was eating cookies and I got a phone call and she said, hey, I'm the casting director for this movie in my bill. And director started a picture of when she could audition. And we never doing anything and being green. And this is a casting director, which is, I'm really happy with quality. I got auditions with it. And there was this silence. And she said, are you with the woman? I said, I am. She said, well, I'm looking at your picture. I called you on the phone, so apparently I'm looking at your resume. And I got the picture. I said, well, I didn't send it to you. She's like, and there's a note. She's like, she's like, she's getting really careful. Well, do you want to know anything that's moving or not? I said, does it pay? She's like, oh, it's like, I could just tell her face. She's like, yes, it pays. And she said, you need to be here tomorrow if you want to audition. And then she said it's in Mobile. So the next day I drove down, auditioned, and I was home. And I came out, and back then they had to go to live. Today, that's what they do live. So I went in, auditioned, came out, had to wear the pool massage. He said, he loves the look, but he said, you're just not ready. He said, because I was bad. So they were sure lines really well. I go, okay, to the host, he said, we need some swabbies for the Navy swabbies. And I had my name was like way down. And I said, she could be strong. I said, here. I said, she said, it's like, it'd be like 2 weeks worth of work. I said, I could cut my hair. I said, yeah. I said, okay. So I get mine, and I'm about to go in there, and they were cutting guys' hair. It was like the military. I was about to go in, she came running down the hall, said, wait, she came by the shop, and said, he forgot there's a role for Russian terrorist, and she said, it's a feature background role, and it was 2 weeks, and I said, does it pay? And she said, I don't know what to do with this guy. Like, she said, yes, if it's paid, put your note down, and you get paid once a day. I said, I don't have a job, and I'm like, no, yeah. That's what I think, yeah, it's my hair too. And it was like 2 weeks worth of work. I ended up working 9 weeks, and I was understood. So it's the students were and that's what started the this is what I want to do. I became a lot of money. But you didn't
I want to know an example of that. Show me how the other thing works. Brain Kevin, I was the part of Bad Wrestling Guy number 4. You probably watched all that. I was nervous. Yeah. Well, I know that. I know that too. You quite didn't make the first impression with that lady, but hey, you're just playing hard to get. That's right. I think you did like that. But now you've been in things like Outer Banks, and you're on and whatever I say in there, I was like, my daughter of May was like, I got to meet somebody out of both. The most fun, yeah. What?
Yeah. We have the same. And, yeah, get little girls sitting on the ground.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want to kill something.
And I don't even know what this stuff like. This stuff really looks so much like.
Oh, okay. Wow. What's your favorite part you've ever done?
Probably, it's a mom.
Okay.
Mom is a really dark. It's not, it's a hard time. It's pretty pretty gruesome. But it's not because of that, it's because of the role I got to play, because my whole career, you know, the good guy, killing somebody or killing me or whatever, but I do have a long name, and I was able to spend my life in that.
I thought I'm quite smart on the IMDb after. I haven't even heard of that one, so.
Just gonna, I mean, I don't like that, but I like that. I like that because of the performance and the character I was given to play. I was someone ready from out of time. Not just like big bad guy.
You think there's no qualms in the role? What do you think my qualms in it about?
Probably robbery, but I don't know. It's like, I can travel with that.
Really? Yeah. Me too. I hurt my feelings.
And there's, you know, and like in moments in this, like, hey, you know, like when we shot that movie, we shot it in the shut down. Yeah, no, it was as a prison, not a prison, a jail. Mexico. It was shut down and like you could just feel it, and you thought it might too, and you could just feel it. Yeah. And it was just like, you know, hit your mark, and then like 9% of that movie I'm crying. I'm not crying, it's just a bit in the very emotional state on the bottom of it. Yeah, that's my favorite.
So what do you think the most, like, not like the opposite of the character? Maybe something.
Opposite of him?
Yeah, like, you know.
Yeah, like play?
Yeah. Like something that you expect to play. Yeah. Even though you're not casted
probably Final Two.
Oh, wow. Oh, you got a whole thing down over there and you can walk around and see. You got a whole thing of Christmas tree farm or something?
No, not those. It was National Legacy. I played a record store owner. Yeah. And it was a totally opposite of what I always played. Yeah. You haven't seen it? It's National Legacy.
Okay. They're going to make it
Yeah.
In fact, that was not being spoiled.
It was 2 weeks prior to that. My girlfriend's like, you never. It's like, oh my God. It's just like, you never been one of those videos. I said, nope. And it was 3 weeks later. I got my girlfriend around Thanksgiving to visit it. We shot him burning. And I read for the record store and I booked it.
Never say never.
That's right.
For sure, it's okay. We never thought we'd have a podcast. Here we are. Like it or not, baby. All right, well, let's talk a little bit about last week's event. So this was something that you filmed a while ago, right? Some of the footage.
There's a lot of stages.
Like, I was on the first one to this with you, and he's like, take the footage out of it.
So, I was filming Joy Digger back in 2002, maybe? I don't know, it's back when I lived in Houston, and of course, you stick your further. So, somehow I got this magazine called Alabama Heritage, which I love, and I took it and then I found a story that said, the lynching of Roy Dog. And I started reading the story, and oh my gosh, and it happened in Yardwood, which is where I came from. And I was from Yardwood. Oh my dad's house. And I started reading the story, and then I found a writer, and I met with him, and talked to him, and he said he was past. But I was like, I don't know if I can read it like that. So I started doing some research, and in 2004, I went down to Nauvoo, area called Fort Lizard. And they're having, like, I interviewed the mayor at the time, who since passed away. I interviewed a man who was 99 years old that knew really good. And I interviewed all that, and I sat on it for a while. And then in 2010 or 11, I decided to try to shoot the feature film, and I thought it, at the time, Karen 70. I bought 3 of them, and I shot this movie, and it was okay. is okay, and I spent a lot of money. And the parts of it were not good just because, not because of, it just didn't work. Some things worked, some didn't. I didn't have a good budget. And so I thought I was foolish, and then I said, I'm not for it. And I just sat there and I kept looking at it, and then I got some videos that kind of pertain to that too, and then I met with a lady that had family in Nauvoo too that knew them, and they all written a feature screenplay called Blood Soldiers, which is based on that. And it's been sitting, and I'm like, I spent so much money. I spent like $80,000, like my money on this whole company on soldiers. And so I cannot let that display me. So I decided to make a more of a dunker drama. And then since then I met Barbara Baird, which is she's high up there's a bread corner. And so she came in and fully supported what I was doing, and then interviewed her. She was in the documentary, and then I found out that she knew the lady, Billy Bird's great niece has the postcard. And then I went to her house on Facebook, and she opened up this trunk, and she had all this stuff in it. And I didn't know that was the movie. And then she told me some of the stuff is crazy and funny. And so I decided to call it effort to get it, because that's what was teaching. And there's a marker in foot vision that says like we should get to what we're paging into the teacher. Part of knowledge skill. And it's a true story, and then so that's how I got it.
So this story is about almost where the civil rights movement could happen way earlier, and it's very more than it was the culminators of this workers' money. And they talked about it from the United States, the little quote about the horrible workers who just spread on them. And so that's kind of like what this documentary is that story.
Yes, there were 7 government soldiers out of Texas, out of company, and it was led by President Lancaster. And they were sent in to keep peace, really, and then they were pushing them like, because they've been on strike now, you got to get these guys out of work. And so he took it upon himself to send. He took the soldiers to work, and he paid for services. And then when they left, he was like, hey, we need to do something before we go back to bed. And they were like, okay. And so that's when we got Miller out of prison.
And you got the cab on the phone.
They got another cab, and they kind of made him be a part of it. And pulled him out of jail, started 57 times, or 31 in his body, and hung him from a tree, and just, and then it's
story, and in the documentary, like Deborah and Jordan spoke about it. We did not talk about this, but he was allowed to talk about herself, and I did. And I think these stories are just so important that we don't forget these things, and don't forget how far we've come, and how it minds, and only some of the guys in the documentary talk about, we don't have the benefits that we have in there. This happened, we started, we forget. All these things are really important. But one guy never falls, and then others never fall too. So I think people are really going to oh yeah,
I know they're injured. One of them said that's another reason they kept pushing and pushing.
And like I said, I mean, so that are flipping life, all of these black women, all minors come together, and they're like, well, we need to fight together and have our rights, and we need together,
They're open and strong up. Big time. Big time.
Yeah, because I had never heard of this school. Is it Walker County? Yeah. What's one in Walker County, Jasper? Yeah.
We're doing all ways, man.
They call it Clubby Honey. And you see the mechanical little. Yeah, I remember those kind of stories. And,
Yeah.
but interesting. It's very, interesting to see when politicizing that, like the governor and protecting the,
Yeah.
but you could see almost in your tone,
Yeah.
that that's what politics is,
Yeah.
gotta go to the money,
Right.
use that with all.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, I think this is a really cool documentary. I think it was really good on it. So we're so excited to learn this.
I appreciate you letting me say.
Yeah, it's really awesome.
And that's the start, of the movie, right? The feature film. The feature film we talked about, and the script finished. We're just excited about it. So, yeah,
Well, I did love the footage that you saw with all the acting scenes and stuff. And also, is the courthouse scene, is that something grieving? Like, it was so shameful and stuff. Yeah, I was like,
I'm not real.
yes, it's the American girl. I was like, this is so familiar.
So I was looking for a courthouse for, to match, and like, it was like, you go tell the people in the road, so I went there and was just like, we really don't allow this, but she said, this is really interesting story. She said, we're taking up the floor in 2 weeks. And we're replacing it. She said, that's why we don't know. She said, if you can get in here and shoot, because she said, I know you'll make up the floor, craft it and all that, she said, I'll let you shoot it. Okay, so it was fun too, like, these are not independent guerrilla shooting. I didn't have no producer. I was a producer, director, and we saw the court scene. There were all the extras in, and it was
And you did during the daytime?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I want to see the longer one, especially the apartment.
Okay.
That's the one I'm going with.
Yeah. I was looking at those and I was surprised this guy, and I was like, I'm gonna pick him up and go crazy, but I didn't realize how loud he was. When I picked him up, he was.
That man. Was coming forward. Yeah. You'll have to wait and see that. But it's a good scene. I know those fans of Outer Banks. I can't figure that John Dean.
Yeah. It's kind of been like in the courtroom thing, like, I don't know if you noticed, they did the stage production. And they sort of have a lot. And then they would only let us down. There's another actor. They wouldn't let us up there. So African American people were sitting in the crowd too, and that would have never happened. So we had to kind of cut and cut it. But it was great.
Where were some of the other places you've gone? Because there were like cabins and like.
The thing where we go in the jail? We shot Rosen after that cobblestone.
Really?
It's just jail. We put a plaque up there on the cobblestone. We shot it. Rosen. We shot. We shot the barrack. It was really cool. We shot at the Christian Kids Camp in McCullough. I think I can remember it. Like a Christian camp. And we shot there because they put these kids in that's where they sleep. Just looks just like that. We shot there. We shot at a farm in McCullough, where we were doing that shot. Shot there.
There's some of the footage between the interviews. I love the narrator too. I was like, that's cool.
That's Christmas King. He's like a local. One of Chris a long time ago left and came to my acting class, and then I went to his workover class and became a brother. And then I called him. I was like, Chris, you gotta be the voice of this one. And he's like, okay.
Yeah. And then one of the most famous factors that we recommend in there was your boss that send you the breakfast people.
Oh, yeah, not for instance.
Yeah. One of the things like that diva, though.
Yeah.
Like that diva. I was like, I know this guy. Oh, you feel like that. I love that diva.
Well, he wasn't an architect. He was like he was doing the life coach thing at one point. And I had him to do my life coach. And we were in about acting time. We talked about it a little bit. But we became really good friends. I was like, I should just maybe talk to him on each other. I said, would you play Jim? I was like, yeah, Richard Parsons in it, too. Richard Parsons? Black Hawk Brown.
Yeah, there's other guys like that. There's the okay, I'm going to start more. How long you want to know? So when you're with the general and you're like, can I... What did you have in your Oh, what's the word? I couldn't tell what it was. It was like a small little panic.
Because I knew Mike and how he was, and so I had them in my hand. I walked in, and then that was. What was it? I pulled him out and I said, do you mind? And I knew he was going to go with it because I was pulling him out and he was coming out with it.
And that's what I thought too. So that's what I like. Pretty fun. It was a drag. It's about that. Candy cigarettes. We can't have candy cigarettes. Okay. Awesome. Well, we're looking forward to it.
Awesome.
Wow. And tell us about the other, can we get a teaser documentary too?
Yeah, you're getting through.
We're getting through.
One is being called The Lincoln. Again, I did a documentary way back in the day on the Lincoln Theater in Bethlehem. And it's something I shot, and it's so weird because I shot it, and the guy that built the volume, he's going to actually have me to shoot it, and he kind of got sick. And it's really cool because I interviewed Dick Gibson, the one that lives, and it was just really cool because he stepped the floor with me. And it was really cool. And so I wanted to get it out, and then I finally got the blessing from Vic, and I just put it out because it's been sitting somewhere. And I think her name, her son's filmmaker. Anyway, they just purchased the theater and they're trying to renovate it, so that's what is a doing. So it's really sweet done. It's really well done. Really well done. And then I found out in the tour. Shelby. So that'll be that one, and then the Lincoln, and then yes.
You've been wanting that for a long time. All the way back. That's right. Is it 20 years? You've known people both country?
Well, no, Bruce.
Sure. Forever.
Yeah,
that's right.
I
mean, he's been around as long as I've been around. Thank you. That's great. Absolutely. So, we will see you July 19th. We can get premiere. So, July 19th. So, we kind of cancel. You can get your tickets at ShelbyCountyArtsCouncil.com. It's going to start at 7:30 doors open at 7 o'clock. And there's a little, we want to warn you. Little bloody, language. They're going to be the minors as in the children. Children at home, but the minors.
But it's a real good story.
It's great. Absolutely. It's a great story. Yeah, and it's, that's what we're doing.
It's
very true to its own, absolutely. So, that's good. We're excited.
Awesome.
Thanks for being with us. We're so excited. Thanks for joining us. We're going to give everybody your Instagram. Are you ready for that?
Yeah.
Okay. So, please follow Kevin at _Kevin Lane, And you might find photos of Kevin already. We're going to Instagram. Thank you.